What's up, everybody? My name is BX78, aka Brandon. Today we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 40, which is happening today and tomorrow. NXT Stand Deliver, which is happening this morning in my time and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. I'm looking forward to the show. The only reason I haven't done a lot of SmackDown and Raw reviews is only because, one, didn't have a lot of time, but also the shows haven't been really that interesting to really cover. But I think getting out of WrestleMania, going into WrestleMania, coming out of WrestleMania, I think they're going to get really interesting at the back half. But WWE's done very well. They've done 14 consecutive sellouts out of last night's SmackDown across their last 14 weeks. They have done amazingly across Raw and SmackDown. It's been one of those things where the company's at an all-time high. I think that's the other thing that's really interesting about this here. Up until this point, there wasn't a lot of hype behind things, but once The Rock and that whole storyline came in with the bloodline and all that has really pumped interest. You also have the fact that you have some of the matches of the card like Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk have been good work. The fact you had Io Sky and Bailey. Bailey's been known for the best work of her career. Io Sky is a really good champion. You have Rhea Ripley, and Becky Lynch. So a lot of good stuff. A lot of things I'm looking forward to overall tonight. I'm here to give you my picks for NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. I'm going to put them all in one together. So let's get this started. So we're going to start off with Stand and Deliver. It's going to be Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan versus JC Jane, um, Kiana James, and Izzy Dime. I haven't been keeping with some NXT. I've been keeping up with NXT, watching on my own kind of thing. Basically, I think this is going to be Thea Hill's and Fallon Henley for them to win. It's interesting because Thea Hill was a heel as this process was started. She was lined with a couple of people. I think she's still heel. So now that I think they win this match, the 6-woman tag match. So let's see how that ends up. Um, then you have the big one everybody's talking about, Carmella Hayes versus Trick Williams. They did a Prime Targets package for this. The Prime Target package looks amazing. Um, Trick Williams and Carmella Hayes are two of the best in NXT. They've done so much good work. You have um, Timmy Stratton on the main roster. She's done a lot of great work in NXT herself. Like after they kind of figured out what NXT is about, I have to give this to Trick. Trick needs a big win. Big win. I think he gets a big win. I think after this, Carmelo will go up to the main roster full time because I think he'll be pretty much done in NXT at that point. But it still should be a good match. I think that's going to be your match, one of your matches of the night, absolutely. Then you have the Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin as a tag team. They have tag team titles versus Axiom and uh, Nathan Frazier. Braun Baker and Baron Corbin have done some good work. They are a really interesting tag team. Braun Baker's on the main roster officially. I have Breaker winning this match only because Breaker and Corbin winning this match because I think they could hold the belts a little longer. I can see it going both ways though because Breaker on SmackDown now he could drop the belts to Frazier and Axiom and then he just goes to the main roster. Him and Corbin go to the main roster as a tag team. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna be too unnerved if that doesn't really happen, but we'll see. Um, I'm not too confident in that pick, but I think that pick's going to be kind of interesting to see how that plays out overall. Then you got the North American title match with Obafemi, which is the champion, Josh Briggs and Dijak. Obafemi had just won the belt about a month ago now, a month ago now. I think Obafemi's holding on to the belt. I don't really think you see Dijak or Josh Briggs win the belt. I think Josh Josh Briggs and Dijak kind of cancel each other out. Obafemi gets the win off that. I think they're trying to push Obafemi, make Obafemi a big star. That's their kind of plan for this. I can't see that no otherwise, but you never know. They could do something sort of. Speaking of NXT, the show for NXT Stand and Deliver today that is going on. They said that most of the arena has sold out for the Fightful. There's only like 600 tickets left, so that's gonna probably be a sellout overall. That'd be so awesome to see. Um, Lyra Valkyrie versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title. Perez was going after Valkyrie a couple weeks ago trying to get the title. She wants it back. She's heel now. Lyra's been a very good big face. She got the big one over Becky a couple months ago to get the belt. I think Lyra retains, Ultimately, Lyra retains only off the fact that I think for her, keeps the momentum. She wins over a big star like Roxanne. I don't think Roxanne goes up yet, if that's the case, but I think Roxanne might get one more shot to win the belt after that, and then she'll go up maybe around SummerSlam time. Um, and then our main event of the night, which is the NXT Championship, Ilya Dragunov versus um, Tony D. I like Tony D. I appreciate his work. I like Dragunov. Dragunov is one of the best in NXT. A lot of people think he'll be called up pretty quickly, pretty soon. They want to push him like they did Gunther with the international, with the Intercontinental, like Gunther has right now. It's a tough one because I don't think Tony D needs the belt, but I don't think if you give it to, I think what you could do is Ilya keep the belt and then Trick wins it off him. Trick will win it off him somewhere down the road. SummerSlam, that kind of case. I think Trick's going to be the one that go for the belt next. I don't know if Trick turns, if that means Ilya goes heel for a bit or Trick stays face. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting dynamic because ultimately you have two characters that I would think that really are interesting. Trick, Ilya, they do the work. If you ever have, I think one of the matches you go watch, if you haven't watched one, is Ilya versus Gunther when they did it back in NXT UK. One of the best matches they ever did. It was so much fun to watch. So if Ilya gets up to the main roster, I think he will be a very interesting very interesting main roster addition because he can do a lot of things in that main roster. His characterization, the way he does his matches, so good, so good, so good. So that's the pick for NXT Stand Deliver. I think it's going to be a good show. It's 5 matches, 5 matches on the card. Usually, it's going to be a strong showing. I don't think there's not a bad match in that card because I think you have the title match. You have Trick and Mello, Trick and Mello, which is going to be interesting against each other. That's the thing most people are looking forward to anyway. Then you have some other smaller things. I think that's going to be the one stuff that people are looking forward to the most. Um, Roxanne Perez, I would be interested to see how that all goes as well. But then let's get into Mania Night 1. So Mania Night 1 is tonight. That will start around 6 o'clock, 7 Eastern, or 7 Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock on the, or 4 o'clock on the Pacific time zone, PST. So the first match I'll be looking at is Jimmy versus Jay. So this has been kind of weird. This feud hasn't been as strong as I think they expected. They kind of had to start at Royal Rumble, had a little build up to it, things kind of cooled off since then. I don't really know what they're going to go for here. I think Jay needs this win more than Jimmy, even though I think the story they could tell is all the people that helped Cody lose, and ultimately Cody gets the big one on night 2. But ultimately, I don't think that's really also necessary because you could have Jay win, and then Jimmy gets his win back later down the road at SummerSlam or something of that nature. I still think Jay's winning. I don't have a lot of confidence in this. I think it's like I think maybe like a 2 or so, but it's not like the strongest confidence that Jay's winning. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch put out her book, which I haven't got a chance to read. I want to find it eventually. It looks like a very interesting book. I think this is a fun match. This is also one of those matches where they the build for it has been okay. It hasn't been strong, but it's been a marquee match. It's still there to be a marquee match. So ultimately, I think for that, you have Becky win the belt. And then if Becky wins the belt, I think Rhea turns face out of this, or Becky. I don't think Becky's turning heel because Becky's not going to turn heel because Liv's still in the wings. Liv is the one thing about this that's going to be interesting. If Becky wins the belt, Liv can fight her for the belt, and Liv can turn heel in the process of fighting for the belt. So that's the way you kind of get around keeping Becky face, turning Rhea face, leaving the Judgment Day, and then having Liv in the background ready to go for the first challenger for Becky Lynch. So I think Becky wins that. Sami Zayn versus Gunther. This is going to be an interesting one, too. This one's actually really hard to pick because I think Gunther retains. Only because I don't think Sami needs the belt. Sami doesn't need the belt. He's not really. They're trying to do the Rocky story with him, kind of building up like the underdog story, trying to win the belt. Chad's been helping him on last week on SmackDown. They had a little montage, or last week on Raw, they had a little montage from training, which I would have loved to see multiple versions of that through a couple weeks to get to this point. But then they had the match. Sami had the match against was it Bronson? I think on Monday Monday, either Bronson or somebody else. And it kind of ended the same way the previous match did, where Gunther comes out, distracts Sammy. Sammy loses cool and loses the match, but also gets beat up by Gunther. Same happened this past Monday. Get distracted by Gunther. Gunther brings Chad to the ring because Chad to the entranceway, beats him up. He already beat him up. Sammy comes out there, gets beat up himself, and then basically nothing else happens. He loses the match. So it's gonna be a thing where I think I think it's Chad's to win. Chad wants to win the belt, but he knows it's hard to. I don't know what else you do with this because ultimately the other downside to this is what do you do with all that? Like, what do you do with that? Because I think Gunther can hold the belt to Bash Berlin when they go to Germany in a couple of months. That'd be interesting to see him hold the belt there and then drop it to somebody there, or he drops the belt here and then either goes into the world title scene at Bash Berlin or has something else. He does something else entirely. We don't know. That's kind of the way this looks like right now. So I'm all for Gunther holding the belt because Gunther's longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. He's done so much in this past couple months with the belt. Like the man's amazing. So I think it's gonna be interesting what they're gonna do now. So then we have the tag team match of Rey Mysterio and not Dragon Lee anymore. It's gonna be Andrade. We saw that angle on SmackDown last night after Dragon Lee got beat up backstage versus Santo Escobar and Dominic. I think this is Rey's to win only because I think Rey's a legend here. Dom will get his win back eventually. I think that'll be SummerSlam, where they do hair versus mask or something of that nature to give Dom a big win over his dad because they have fought before, and I think it'd be fun to see again. But also, this could be a heel turn for Carlito because Carlito didn't like the fact he didn't get picked to be Rey's partner. So if they turn him heel, that could also help Dom. He might join Dom and his crew, whatever that's going to be the case. But that'll be so much fun. Then you have the 6-woman tag match of Damage Control, which is Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai, Kairi Sane, and Asuka versus Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. This is the easy one. I think out of all this first one night one things. That's Jade and that team to win because you want to give Jade the big win. Her entrance looks amazing. You can look at that entrance. That entrance is one of the coolest things ever. And I have to give you credit. They've made Jade look like a star, even though she's probably still learning how to do the wrestling. And even the old saying is accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. And it's her first big real match. And the angle they did on SmackDown the night prior, last week, where she beat up Damage Control, looked amazing. That was so cool. So I think that's going to be the big thing for this. How do you make it feel like it's something that Jade looks really good in? If you make Jade look really good here, I think her learning everything else, kind of getting to the use of things will be great, be fine. And that's all you really need to do. And then we have the 16 ladder match. This ladder match is interesting. So they did announce on, was it Raw? Yes, Raw, that the titles are going to be separated, are going to be up both on the line. Basically meaning whoever picks the SmackDown titles up, one team can pick SmackDown titles up, the other team, somebody else can pick up the Raw titles. They're going to be split brands again for the first time since they've been unified. Finally, because having the both belts was kind of annoying at times. It didn't really make sense to have both belts, but I digress. I also think, too, it doesn't really help the fact that the only people that are I'm pretty much guaranteed to see Austin Truth win the belts. That is one we're gonna have happen. The other team in that match, I don't know. We don't have any indication of who that other team is gonna be. If that other team is even I don't think what I picked was New Catch Republic would probably win the belts, but New Catch Republic also is in a weird spot because I don't think they need the belts. I think they need the belts, but they don't need the belts. It's weird because the only team that or DIY. So I'm gonna go with New Catch Republic. New Day don't need the belts. I don't think A Town Down need the belts either, unless you're gonna do New Catch Republic and then there's really nobody for them to chase. That chase makes no sense. That chase has nothing to it. So you never know. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're gonna make that make sense. But ultimately, I'm okay with that. And then our main event of the night is the tag team match between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns and The Rock. I'm having The Rock and Roman win this. I don't. We got the Bloodline Rules thing a couple weeks ago on Smack. Not this week, but last week on SmackDown. Basically a no DQ match. I don't know if it's gonna be a straight 1-on-1. Then, if that's the case, they just tease us with that, telling that the good guys will win. They'll get straight on 1-on-1. But you don't want Roman getting pinned either. You're not gonna get The Rock get pinned. So the best way to do this is I think you have Roman or Rock pin Cody. That gives Cody the motivation to win night 2, and you have the whole everybody assemble. Everybody's going to come in and fight for their honor, which will be very interesting. So we'll see how that works. Ultimately, that is night 1. Night 1 seems pretty good already. Night 1's probably stronger of the 2 cards comparatively for WrestleMania, but I think both of them are good cards. Then we'll get into night 2 of WrestleMania. Night 2 of WrestleMania starts out with the Philadelphia Street Fight that is on the card between the Pride, which is Bobby Lashley, and Street Profits versus uh, Final Testament, which is AOP and Karrion Kross. I think Bobby Lashley and the Profits win this. They need a big win. Karrion Kross and AOP and them have been really destroying them easily, no problem, no questions asked. So I think you give the Final Testament, or you give Bobby Lashley and the Pride Bobby Lashley and Street Profits that win. They deserve that win. They need that win. I think that's going to be something for them to sink their teeth in, ultimately. And also it makes the Profits seem like a good team to go after one of the belts, whoever gets the belt for SmackDown. Also, they kind of be a good thing too. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. LA Knight's winning this. LA Knight has to win this. Like he should be in the US title thing, but LA wins the match here, gets the pop. I think he goes after the US title in SummerSlam against Logan Paul because I think I'll explain why I think Logan Paul's retaining, but I think that's going to be the thing where he gets crowned for US Championship. LA Knight's a good character, and he was hot. He should have won the US title a long time ago. He was a hot character, and they kind of put him in the world title scene, which I don't think you should have put the world title scene on him, but hey, you did it because you think he was there. You deserve to be there, fine. But at the same time, there's a lot of other stuff you could have done to make this a lot bigger and a lot stronger. But ultimately, I can't complain too much. So then the U.S. title match is going to be Randy Orton versus Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. I think Logan retains because SummerSlam's in Cleveland. He's from Cleveland. I think he retains here, gets to Cleveland, drops the belt to either LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, somebody like that. I think it's going to ultimately be LA Knight. He drops the belt to SummerSlam. But I think he walks into SummerSlam with that belt just because where it is. And it's a good business thing, ultimately. Can't really complain with somebody like him doing it. Like he's done good work. The man's hit the ground running, going to WWE. He's one of the few celebrities I think ultimately outside of like Snooki is probably going to wrestle that. Grob Gronkowski and others who have really hit the ground, did really well. And actually, when he did a couple matches and he still works for WWE now. But ultimately, also, I think the other thing about this, and nobody really talking about it, is the fact that look, Logan hit the ground running. Logan's all in on this business, and he's done such a good job to this point. So what are you going to do? You can't really change that for him. You can't change the fact he's done so well. He's actually proved a lot of his doubt wrong, and I think Logan continuing on that belt, continuing having good matches, ultimately going to be one of the best things they do during this year. But ultimately, I also think it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do overall. And I like I said, Logan's going to win it. I think Logan can walk in SummerSlam with the belt. He kind of, I think that's just going to be a good, more PR thing for them. But I think you give Randy and KO their good showing. It's a WQ, anything can go. So weapons, plunder, and stuff. It's going to be interesting. Then we have Io Sky versus Bayley. This is a tough one because you could do this one of two ways. I think Bayley loses this match here and either wins it at SummerSlam because they want to make her more babyface, have her more there for they're more for the ability to keep him looking strong, like keep Io looking strong, or if you ever drop it here, you can go after it again and Bailey wins the rematch at SummerSlam. I don't know because they're trying to make Bailey face, but they really haven't told the story well enough to give her that motivation to the promo packages and things they've done. Absolutely amazing. There's a promo match on SmackDown they've done with the singer from Panamore, singing over the top of it. It looks amazing, well done, well produced. But it's gonna be a fun match nonetheless. I think you have two people that are very strong in the ring. And also, Bailey talked about she wanted to put over younger stars. She's trying to put over Rio. She's put over having damage control, all that kind of stuff. So that's basically what this was for, all told. Then you got Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. This is Drew winning the belt. He's pretty easily. CM Punk's on commentary. I don't think CM Punk gets involved because I don't think CM Punk is going to be cleared to get involved. But him being on commentary is just going to make it interesting, make it more fun to hear what he's going to think about the match. But also, you could tease CM Punk versus Drew down the line at maybe Clash of the Castle, which is happening in July in Scotland. So that is something that they're bringing back. Clash of the Castle is actually one of the fun shows they do every year. But also, I think that's going to be the one thing about this match is because Drew deserves it. I think Drew ultimately deserves it. He's had some of the best work of his career. They did the segment a couple weeks ago where he was doing the funeral service and all that just kind of stuff. It was so good, so good. Um, and then we have our undisputed Universal Championship match between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I ultimately think Cody's going to win this. Cody wins this. I think we have bloodline rules happen, but also I think Cody overcomes the odds. I think you can have shenanigans. I'm down with the shenanigans. Have all the shenanigans you want. The only thing I say, if you're gonna have the shenanigans, I think the last thing you need to see Cody do, nobody else in ring, nobody at ring, in ring, nobody near ring. Cody hits two or three crossroads to win the match. That is the way you finish off the story. He beats Roman clean in the middle of the ring. He gets the belt. He is teased the fact he wants to do the Winged Eagle belt from the Attitude Era and bring that belt back. That would be something cool if you see that happen. But ultimately, Cody needs to finish it here. I've heard people talk about should they trade this out to 41? Why? Roman's beat everybody in the company already. I think there's no much many people left he could beat. I ultimately think it's Cody's. Cody's gonna win tonight, that Sunday night, and he's gonna end Mania as champion. Because then you can have Cody's first feud be somebody like AJ Styles or somebody like that. Even though AJ had a loss, he can still have a first feud against them. We'll see. Ultimately, this is where Mania is gonna be interesting. The second night's more. I think the first night's gonna have more fun. The second night's gonna be more interesting to how they end the night. But I'm looking forward to WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. I'm looking forward to NXT Stand and Deliver. These are going to be some fun shows. These are going to be fun shows that I can't wait for. Like this starts tonight, and I think this has been the best. This is mostly the most hype WrestleMania we've had in years. But I think it's worth every ounce of the hype. Like I can't say like it's been the greatest build up to this point. No, but it's been a build enough. It's built enough, and there's been things along the way. The 14 sellers will tell you right there in the past 14 weeks that WWE is on another level right now. That's not a bad thing. That's a great thing. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll put this up right away so y'all can have it on YouTube. And then as of this week, I'll get back to doing my SmackDown reviews on Friday. I will this week for at least this Friday. I will touch on Raw because Raw will be the Raw for Mania. Touch on that too, and then we will go talk about SmackDown, talk about pay-per-views, all that kind of stuff. I want to start this new season off because I waited because things were kind of getting on the low end at the beginning of the year, but no, they picked up, so I want to get back into that. But ultimately, the other thing I was going to mention, we still have Damian Priest's briefcase out there. Is he going to cash in tonight or next week or tomorrow night? I think he cashes in tomorrow night in the world title scene. If he does, I don't think he's the last he cashes in or he gets stopped. Ultimately, the other thing they could do, they could cash in during Raw after Mania. Somehow, some way. So that could be happening too. But like I said, I do thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. I'll be back on later today on my Twitch channel to play some Forza Motorsport and just kind of talk about the F1 qualifying thing. So when you come check that out, please do. It's twitch.tv. So that's BMAX78. You can go check that out. But by doing watching, hope you enjoy and hope you for next time. See you.